Hey, welcome to episode 28. I just discovered that episode 19 was unlegible, so we'll be skipping that episode if you haven't noticed a post about it. That will be made at a later point in time, or actually at an earlier point about when it should upload, with a statement that, sorry, episode 19 does not exist. Had a formation of guard choppers come over, and I thought it wasn't picking him up, and no, you could barely hear me over the chopper thump. You could definitely hear the glass rattling next to me. All right, so we are back. This is How Not to Game with Callie Jack. I'm Callie Jack. This is the Dive Rex channel. And welcome aboard for the Devil's Towers Fixit 1969 game. Episode, as I said, 28. Hoping this is a good episode for us. Hoping it goes well and we get some good things done. Let's see what we've got. We've done a lot of things in the past, and it is time to really, didn't mean to save a screenshot, but that is how you do it. Start the things rolling and we'll see how things go. The next place it's going to become a problem, I can already see I'm starting to have some traffic issues along here. And this is going to be an issue, I can tell. So what I'm going to do is a slight relocation of some power lines to clean them up anyway. Here we go. Take out that stretch of the power lines. Do one more jog there. Take out these guys. There we go. What I'm going to do is extend out the exit all the way back up to here. It is going to make for a longer return stroke visit for our trains, but at the same time, I think it'll be a safer line to take and cross. It'll also let us take out some of those poor signals and start putting in some intermediary signals to allow this stretch to have more than one train onto it. And have those trains be running at speed. The double strike junction here is going to be reworked at some point in the near future. I'm not liking it. I'm thinking I've got a way to take and fix it. We'll see. And we've got a train that cannot find a route because we placed a signal wrong. Here we go. Give it a moment. Hit the speed. There it goes. Now we got it fixed. Signaling. Always make certain your signals are in the right direction before you get rolling. This is why some folks actually pause the game to put in their signals to make certain they go through and double check. But we're doing this as a gameplay, so it's like, yeah, we're gonna learn. Another thing I'm kind of wanting to do is I don't like the way the setup is on this stretch right here. It slows down a certain train, one of the oil trains. So we're going to take and get him to run more straight. park that guy back a little bit further so that he's not tying up this stretch as much, and then take out that stretch of rail right there and that section there. Again, another cleanup step. Each cleanup step does let us get a little bit closer. I'm checking my bits. It is cup of coffee number 2, pot number 1. For those tracking caffeination as Dave's playing, Cali Jack does need his caffeination. We already got a lot of petrol building up back here, so it is time to consider parking that train for a minute after he delivers, and we need to send him in and change him out for a bigger train, hauling more oil. Also need to take out this guy and rework him, and I think it's time to start considering heavier duty locomotives. And one of the things I'm considering this time around is a double diesel run, because it's a nice short run and oil is a high dollar return. Things that we can take a look at. We did dispatch at the end last time the high-speed rail on the New Ash Looper. It is making money. When we look at our profit, looking really good. Since we dispatched this train out, going to the vehicle list. Oops, that's the PAX train lopper. Wrong one. New Ash. Malayash. Where is he? Ashlock Valleyfield. There's where our high-speed train is. Barely making money right now, but this is when we changed. Going to our vehicle list, come into here, take a look at his chart and see, and free capacity is way up. There's an awful lot of seats on that train, so it's going to take a while before it really makes money on a regular basis. Right now, overall counting dispatch, it's still in the hole for this train for its lifetime. That's its lifetime income up there. Or yearly, I'm not certain which. I'll have to check into that. We'll see if it resets back down in January next year when we do our big report. Also looking at a couple of the other rail systems, and they are running fairly good. I do think I can bring up production overall by lowering this down to a 50% from the 66 he's at, and I think that's a good idea. We are on the right kind of abilities. This is my one slogger. What the heck train is that? Why is the meteor mine coming all the way back down here? That's because of that jam up. I bet you he took and found a different routing. We'll see if he fixes out. Not seeing another meteor mine coming into there. Good. All right. One-time issue, hopefully. Got the joined buses now available. Front and back sections. We've got a really good run going on this, and it is time to upgrade road a little bit. But the real question is, should we be paying that, or should we just pay a road toll and have the Public Service Command take over this road setup? That's a really good question. And you know what? that is one of the many cheat methods. I'm here to show you how not to game, and cheating is how not to game. Also said we were going to finish clearing out the Mallowfield knot and clean it up into a single interchange or interconnection, and I think it is time for that. Let's do that road first. Switch to Public Service Commission. So now we are down here, Public Service Commission, and we're getting this notice that says now active as public service. Close out the player list for just a moment. We're going to open the roads, grab the highway, and make this all highway. So that those sections do run faster. And now we're going to see just how much better that's going to make these trucks run. It might even be time to start thinking about some other vehicles. Looking at things over, it is time, like I said, to consider this guy. So we're going to leave him open for a moment. I'm just going to minimize him, park him there. There he goes. Minimize him till he delivers out. I kind of need him to deliver and then upgrade most of these to faster rail trains, because these guys are only moving at about 80 clicks an hour. We can get them up to about 100, or at least into the 90s. Faster speed, more trips. More trips, more profits, hopefully. All right. So I wait for that little guy to get up here and do his delivery run. Everything is looking pretty good at Brent's Benzene's, even though we have the one broken yard section and only one dispatch line. I do think a west throat is need of serious work, and I am considering making a full-on yard that will prevent things from coming in. Brent's Benzene's is a sprawling yard, as we can see, and it's rather discoordinated at this time. I might start enhancing it and building it into faster and bigger trains. Another train that I am considering starting to reduce is that gas delivery train for gas and crude looper on the Wren Roost. All right, so this guy is right there. That's the perfect time to tell him to hi. Oops, we're in the wrong setup. We need to go to back to 21 so that we can do things. In 21, we're telling you to go to the depot. So he's going to go into that depot. We're going to take and change out a couple of things. Upgrade his rail system. Now it is a long and slow process to get over to the depot right now. Down the road, I may change where its connection is at. All right, he's in the depot. Let's talk in the depot for a moment. First things first, it's line 26. Make a note of that in our head. And to do that, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to come over here and say hi. There we go. You're open, so I know what I'm fixing. We are selling the entire convoy. Now it's time to take and put out something better. So the options are for 16 or 1720, I can take and run the diesel units. And he'll have 2200 power versus the same amount of power, slightly more, and a higher speed back here. But my fastest oil car is 100 clicks. So we're going to dispatch the diesel. There's 89 to 90. That's a pretty good speed to be running at. We're going to put him back onto 26 and start him rolling. Technically, I could begin doing a new change where I build out things a little bit different. And I am considering that. Also, am going to need to expand get everything set to where I need it to go. This guy, who he's costing me, what, 46.30, and the new train that we just dispatched is costing me 51.20. So we're just going to let these guys keep rolling. Slight speed difference. We'll see if that makes any difference, but it did improve the throughput on that train specifically. One moment while I take a sip of coffee. We got about 2.5 minutes left to the normal time. So we're just going to think these through for a few more moments. Another thing we can do is see about getting public service to take over a couple of more road sections. By having had the Public Service Commission take over those roads, and they do now own it, we now have to pay a fee, the road toll. So our road tolls are going to go up compared to the past. And the road tolls had been increasing anyway, and now they're going to spike in 74 or 73. They spiked with a lot of new vehicles. This is going to get to be quite a wild ride. We'll see how bad I was getting it down a little bit through faster vehicles and bigger vehicles that were not hauling as little. Another thing I might want to look into is some of the trailers and seeing what I can start doing trailer wise. Maybe I can start doing doubles to carry furniture in to town and reduce the number of trucks. However, it is per unit. So if I've got a tractor and 2 trailers, that's 3 units paying that road toll still. So it may not be worth it. Picking around for another thing we can do before we leave. One thing that is going to happen here is we will be tying this line out. This guy will come over to here to tie into the system for the satellite yard. So it is going to reduce a lot of things here in the very near future. And speaking of things to fix, Mallowfield Junction is going to be its own setup. And because it will be a double junction, there'll be Mallowfield West and Mallowfield East. Main East, Main West junction. Sounds like a plan. And we do have plans going, guys. And I might even tie this guy back over this way so that he ties into this line at some point. Also, seriously considering eliminating this as a line segment or changing its connections to allow a slightly different run along. That's a good idea. Matter of fact, I think we will dedicate the high speed train, give it the faster tracks, and begin looking into the possibility of making a small siding station that it can eventually be served on. Hey, I'm Callie Jack. Have a better day than I'm having.